welcome to session 3, a career tech overview of career technical ed, health occupations. I'm joined by Sandy Marks, the Dean of Health Occupations. We've decided that we're going to preface this with a little introductory video of health occupations. So let me boot that up real quickly.
While you're booting that up, let me introduce myself to the group. Thank you so much for being here today and showing an interest in health occupations. I have been the dean for over 8 years, but I have been a faculty member for 17 and a half. So I've been with Cerritos College for over 26 years now. So I'll be 26. So welcome. My background is I'm originally a registered nurse. I received my diploma of nursing in Wisconsin. I am a transplant. And so that's a 3-year program. It is, I call myself a dinosaur because those don't really exist anymore except on the East Coast. I guess you would call it a 1 year more than the ADN program that California has. And then I have a background in major medical floor. I've worked in a coronary care unit. I've worked in the clinics. There I've done evening supervision at a 300-bed teaching hospital. And then I relocated to California because I don't like winter sports and I'm not a bear, so I can't hibernate. So sunny California was calling me and I've never been disappointed since. But I got employment in a large HMO here. So I was an assistant director of nursing. Before I moved, I got my bachelor's in nursing with a minor in management from Alverno College in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And it's a competency-based program. So I highly recommend if anyone is interested. That was the best educational experience I've ever had in my life. Let's see. So now I'm here working in a large HMO in California, go back to school, get my master's in healthcare administration from CSU Long Beach. I'm in charge of the medical assisting program. And then I eventually go back and I get my master's in nursing with a focus in education. So I guess the saga is education is a never-ending experience. It's a lifelong process, and you take baby steps along the way as you progress in your careers. So let's show the video. It is located on our Health Occupations website.
All right, let's play it.
Welcome to Cerritos College. I'm Sandy Marks, Dean of the Health Occupations Division. Our division has 9 exciting career options for you, and I invite you to explore them all. These career choices often supersede a minimum wage of $15 and allow for upward mobility in your career choice as well as a collateral career. Some programs can be completed in 2 to 3 semesters, while others have an admission process. Some programs allow you to obtain a certificate, be employed, and then complete the associate's degree. While you are exploring the different areas, be sure to look at the Technical Standard Essential Functions section. This will provide you with information concerning the physical and mental expectations of the program, as well as when you are employed in your career choice. Our programs have been awarded bronze, silver, and gold stars by the State of California Community Colleges Chancellor's Office. These awards were based on job earnings and employability after program completion. Again, welcome to Health Occupations. And please let us know if there is anything we can do to assist you during your exploration.
So I will first start out with saying I am working off of a Surface Pro, and sometimes my face shows and then sometimes I'm a big blob. So if I turn into a blob, my apologies. I have no control over that technology. So I view that I have 9 children. So let me kind of go over my children with you. First is culinary arts. Culinary focuses on professional cooking, baking, and hospitality. So there's a way of getting 3 different degrees and some certifications going through that pathway. And Michael Perini is our program director, and he has worked very hard with CSU Long Beach, and he has worked very hard with Pomona, which is a very is well known for its hospitality program. That many of our classes you take them here and they will transfer over for credit into those other institutions. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of thing. Michael's worked very hard on that. So you can do them in different steps. You can focus just on the professional cooking if you want. You can also focus on just the baking, desserts and chocolates kind of classes. I always like getting the leftovers in those. And then the new one is a hospitality. We are working on the hospitality degree being totally online. And that might be an avenue for some of you. Then we have the child development program. The child development program is very unique in that its philosophy is based on Reggio Emilia. This is a city in Italy that believes that everyone has a responsibility to the education of the child. It also believes that the classroom is the 3rd instructor. So you will find their classes extremely unique. They use the constructivist philosophy when teaching, because they are advocating that you use that philosophy when you are working with young children. So it's very project-based, group work, ever evolving. It's very challenging. Now they have a Child Development 101, which I believe is a general ed course. So you may want to check that out in terms of seeing what that was like. So it's a very unique experience for students. Then we also have the Child Development Center, which is a Reggio Emilia based way of dealing with our education of young children. And we have our students do some practicum hours over there, and you can do some field trips. It is off of 166th Street between the campus police and the purchasing department, and the playground is beyond. You'll want to be a child again when you see that playground. It is totally based in the Reggio Emilia constructivist philosophy. We find that those children do very well in their transition to pre-K and kindergarten, and then through on in their academic careers. So the foundation is there. For those of you who might have children and have that conflict of childcare and going to classes, we work with the student, and Deborah Ward is our manager over there, our director of the CDC, and she will work with you in terms of seeing if there's childcare that can be provided so that you can come to campus. Rest assured that your child is going to be having some good childcare. Also, there are different certificates that you can achieve in the child development program that provides you different levels of employment. We call them permits from the state of California, and we have taken them through the curriculum process. So now they actually show up on your transcript. This permit system is somewhat complicated. Your child development faculty know exactly what's going on with them. We actually have one of our faculty who is on the committee that is looking at revising those requirements. And so we're very happy with being represented, of being able to make some changes or recommendations for changes for our students. Deborah Ward is also part of a group chosen by Anthony Rendon to speak about early education for our children and trying to advocate for things that will be assisted for people going into that career and for our children having better services and educational experiences. Then we have dental assisting. Dental assisting is one of our application programs. They will be taking applications up until, I think it's May 15th of this year. So hurry up and get those applications in. There's not a lot of requirements to get into the program. And it's 2 semesters and then part of the summer. So I guess you would say if that's maybe 9 months, and you could be a dental assistant working in a career in an office. We have offices contacting us consistently for, I need someone to hire. Do you have anyone? We are well known in the community. You are well trained. We highly recommend that you go on and take the state and national examination for that. So that would give you a registered dental assistant title and gives you more flexibility with movement between states. So you would need to check with the different states if you're thinking of any kind of movement to see what kind of parameters does it meet their requirements, or maybe you would need to do something additional. Dental hygiene. That is an application process. You do have some sciences that you have to get under your belt with that program. They do like to try and take some of the dental assisting students and bring them right up into dental hygiene for those people who have a stepping stone sense of career with the dental area. And then some of our students actually want to go on and become dentists. So it is it could be a stepping stone kind of format for you. Again, it's heavier in the sciences. It might take you longer to get some of those prereqs done. Once you're in the program, it is 2 years. We consider your juniors and seniors. And we are very innovative in that we might be the only dental hygiene program in the state that does not have a dental clinic on site. You do all of your work with patients in outside clinicals. A lot of them are at the VA hospital. They actually have you tour in a operating room to see surgeries, dental surgeries. When pre-COVID, we actually participated in the Harbor Experience, providing dental care for needy people. And that's part of the curriculum, so that we will resume that once we're past COVID restrictions. So we have been able to continue during the COVID time with placing students. It's been a little up and down and challenging. We have met those challenges, met them as opportunities. So we are very focused on our students getting done. Our dental hygiene students have a 100% pass rate on their state and national exams. And we have maintained this 100% pass rate for, oh boy, a good 6-7 years, if not longer. So it is something that we are very proud of. So you will know that you are well prepared to enter the employment. That employment is usually you contract with a dentist to offer services. So that kind of employment can somewhat be a little different, but they prepare you for that. Then we have medical assisting. Medical assisting, if you do this full time, you will get done in 2 semesters. So it's very competitive with surrounding areas, and you don't end up with a large amount of debt that you would in some of these private institutions. I highly recommend you don't do that route. You don't have to pay $40,000 to complete a medical assisting program when you can do it through the community college. And let's see, we are trying to create our phlebotomy program to be state certified. We are in the process of that. We have been working on that. And They are highly sought after graduates as well. We do have medical assistants that then go on into the nursing program. I've actually had a medical assistant go into becoming a physician's assistant. So again, it is a stepping stone for you. And then I've known people who've been a medical assistant for 28 years. So it can be a lifelong career and it can be a stepping stone. Nursing, again, we have an ADN program here. That is by admission only. Oh, let me back up. Medical assisting. If you start full-time in the fall, the classes are in the evening. If you start full-time in the spring semester, those classes are in the day. So you can stagger however, if you want day or evening classes to meet whatever kind of needs, family, work, you know, whatever kind of commitments. So we have kind of a day and evening program that we offer for people. Nursing, again, is an admission process. Please review that information very closely. There are only 3 classes, 3 or 4, I keep forgetting them, that you can only take out of those 3 or 4 classes. You can only take one of them a second time. All the others have to be passed on the very first time. And English 101 is one of those. So when you are planning your classes, be very aware if you want to go into nursing, how you strategize taking those 3 or 4 classes. We are well known. We have worked very hard during this COVID times. We just went through our BRN site visit every 5 years, and we have no contingencies. And we will be going through another accreditation visit with another accrediting agency in September. We are changing over our educational program to a competency-based curriculum. They've been working long and hard on that, and that transition, we should be starting with going through curriculum this next academic year. We have a farm tech program. I think that this program is the best kept secret of all of our programs. You could, in high school, take some farm tech program. You could join with Cerritos Cares, where your tuition is taken care of. So you could basically complete this program without having to pay a penny. So if you plan really well, and if you know people who are still in high school, who are juniors or whatever, you know, please, you know, share some of this information with them. But this is, you could get it done in 3 semesters, depending on how you do it. And it is an excellent job. They are looking for farm tech students right now. You are actually being trained to give injections. So you would be giving COVID vaccines right now if you were a graduate of this program. Also, you could go on to any other career path that you wanted. You could become a pharmacist. We have agreements with some of to help you transition between the two. You could become a nurse. I worked at Downey Regional Hospital before it became PIH. I worked with a nurse who was a new graduate, who was a farm tech before becoming a nurse. And do you know that we as nurses were consistently going to our peer asking pharmacology questions? Pharmacology is a big thing in nursing, and it is a great foundation for you to have and to come in a stepping stone. So I really highly recommend that as an option for you. Then we have physical therapy assistant program that is heavy in the sciences. It is an admission program that you would need to meet the criteria, and it is well known throughout the state as well. All of our programs really are. And then the last program we have is speech language pathology assistant. And so this is someone who would work in the school systems, or you could have a private clinic for people that need assistance with their speech patterns. Lo and behold, when I was in high school, I had to meet with a speech person because I didn't say my S's correctly. I don't know if it helped. I don't know if I'm doing any better in that area. I've never asked Susan, who is the program director for that, to evaluate me. But it is a very exciting career path. And now I'm turning into a blob. But that is our speech language pathology assistant program. That one is probably a 2 years as well. She just revamped the curriculum. So I don't know if it's 3 semesters or 4. But you could be a speech aide with some of the classes that you take and then continue on and getting the full certification for that. We offer a lot of clinical experience with this, and we actually have people from 4-year programs coming and asking if they could partake in some of our externship experiences. And we say, well, we are dedicated to our students first. We're not sure if there'll be any openings for you. So people have been coming back with a bachelor's degree asking to partake of some of our educational experiences. So I think I've bored you enough now with all of that. I'm happy to entertain any kinds of questions that you might have.
So as we wait for questions to filter in, I'm also allowing our participants to unmute themselves in case they want to ask it that way.
Okay.
One common question I get because I work with new students is always about our registered nursing program. The main question is, how do I get in? What are the steps I need to take to get in?
Okay, so we have extensive information on the nursing website that can be found on our health occupations website, or I think you can go right to the ADN. It's an associate degree nursing program. You know, this is the other exciting thing. Thank you for saying something, Max. We have an agreement with National University that while you are in the nursing program, during the summer and during the breaks, you take some of their classes. So it's kind of what we call a concurrent enrollment. So while you're becoming an ADN, you're also working on your BSN. Once you graduate and pass your state boards, they give you credit for everything that you've done with the Cerritos program towards it. We have those national university classes offered on campus. You don't have to go anywhere else. They are here on site for you. So you will maybe have some of the instructors you had while you were in your nursing program. You may have new ones, but you stay here at Cerritos College. You don't have to go anywhere else. So it's a really nice thing. We also have collaborations with Phoenix and CSU Fullerton and CSU LA, if you choose to go those routes. So that is a really neat thing about nursing. So preparation, make sure you go to the website and you look at those 4 classes that are a basic requirement that only one can be repeated. And you strategize taking those classes and a commitment to passing them the first time. Then there's an application process. Because of COVID, I have to keep remembering, we are in 21. So in the semester of 20, we received 900 applications for nursing. So those 900 were given slots for the fall, and so that would be fall 20, spring 21. Those 900 applications will be used for the fall 21 and the spring 22 students. We will start taking new applications in the spring of 22 for the fall of 22 and the spring of 23. And it's all because of COVID. As you know, many of us were kicked out of hospitals and and then it took time for us to be filtered back in. We have an outstanding simulation area that we have built, and we got kudos for that in our with the BRN visiting us this week, and said it was an outstanding, one of the best she's seen in the state. So we have been working very hard with maintaining the skill sets of our nurses. We also help our nurses with decision-making skills that some of the other programs don't. And there are hospitals that will take our ADN student over a BSN student because of the caliber of the nurse that they are. So you just need to follow the criteria that's on the website of how to prepare for your admissions. Once you submit your admission packet, we do 50% of our students via the criteria-based process the Chancellor's Office has set forth. The other 50% we do as a lottery system. Now, the other thing you have to do for admissions is TEAS testing. And I'm not exactly sure what the TEAS stands for, but you probably know better than I do. I recommend that you prepare very well for that TEAS test. The higher score you get, the more points you get, I believe. And it will do you very well. And it tests you in terms of your critical thinking skills and some of the other problem solving and some of those kinds of situations. So do well on your TEAS test, prepare very well for those 4 classes, take them the first time, do very well in your prerequisite classes. So half of the class will be based on their point system with the Chancellor's Office. The other half of the class will be with the lottery system. So that's the system we currently have at this time.
All right.
We answered the question.
I believe it did. And we got plenty of questions now as well.
Okay.
So the first question, which I'm going to discuss a little bit of preliminary information, but then after that, if you want to get into specifics, the first question is, how do we enroll in those programs? So preliminary, if you go to, first of all, you need to enroll at the college. You need to apply to the college. You need to create an open CCC account with, and then apply to the college, and then complete our enrollment steps. All of our enrollment steps are on our future students page. It has a bunch of pathways. I just dropped. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. I just sent it privately to someone. Hold on. And so our enrollment steps are generally this. They're all different pathways, but each of them contain some variation of these primary steps. It's apply, take your self-report tool. It's a little questionnaire that uses your transcripts as well as a variety of answers that you fill out to see where you're going to place in certain classes, something like a math or an English. We look at your transcripts, then we place you appropriately in those classes. After that would be your Falcon Edge orientation. It's a 2-hour, 30-minute session with a counselor discussing every aspect of Cerritos a new student needs to know. At that point, you'll also get a 30-minute one-on-one session with a counselor, so you can discuss your ed plan and your future educational goals as well. Once those two are satisfied, and hopefully you've applied for financial aid by this point, barring any holds that may or may not be on your account, you would be able to choose classes. That's the main thing. You have to get rid of those holds before you can choose classes, whether it be for summer or for fall. So please keep that in mind. And if any of the programs have any specialty requirements like nursing, Sandy, are you aware of any?
Say that again.
Are you aware of any, say they want to get into any of these programs like the physical therapist assistant or the something like a nursing, any specialty requirements for those other programs, such as nursing having the 50% lottery, 50%, I'm searching for a word, but I can't think of it.
Yeah.
Any specialty enrollments like that.
Yeah. All of those application requirements are on every single one of our websites. So dental assisting, dental hygiene, nursing, PTA, and SLIPA is now an application program. They just changed over. All of those programs, you need to go to their website and read very carefully. Then if you have any questions, you can reach out to the program director who's listed on the website, and you can ask some more specific types of questions for them. I think the key thing is to do well in your classes. They give points, for, do you have any kind of like volunteer work that you've done anywhere? Some of them look at that. But again, that will be reflected on the website to tell you exactly what it is that you need. Everyone is a little different, and I don't want to inaccurately represent any of them. So I think that's your starting point. We have health occupations counselors. So when you're making an appointment, make sure you're asking for a health occupations counselor because they understand our programs to a higher degree than some of the others. And some of our health occupations counselors actually help reviewing that transcript when you're applying to the program. So they understand those idiosyncrasies very well for the various programs.
Okay, excellent. And a question a lot of people are asking is it's a two-parter. Is there in-person labs going on, and are dental assisting classes online?
Great questions. And Diego, I like that you hate the cold too. Thank you so much. We are a career programs that are considered critical. So during this COVID time for the last, so from March 23rd through now, our labs have been on ground. We have met the mandates of a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio. We have provided PPEs for the students to feel safe, and they have gone out into clinicals with the appropriate PPE that are required. So we have supplied them with everything for them to be successful. So our labs, culinary, dental assisting, dental hygiene, medical assisting, nursing, farm, and PTA have all been on ground for the last year. The lectures have been online, but in the fall, we are starting a slow comeback to the campus with the child development and the SLIPA program. All the other ones have already been on ground. And the expectation or the hope, let's say, is that spring of 22, we will be totally back on ground and back to the format that we had pre-COVID, although some things will change. We've gotten better with some things, and some of those better things will continue. What those will be, I'm not sure. Every program director meets with their team and they design what is best for the students. I kind of like the conductor of the orchestra. You know, they make the music, but I keep them in tune and in time kind of philosophy. So, yeah, we are critical and we have been on ground. We have also provided letters for students who want to get the COVID vaccine because they were considered a critical, oh God, I forget the term, critical career, so that they could also have access to the COVID vaccine earlier than the general population. Now the general population, it's open, and the age group from 16 on up is now open as well. So there really will be no need for that. But it's not mandatory to have the COVID vaccine at this time to partake in our classes. It will be mandatory to come to campus with a mask. You will have to go to the temperature kiosks, have your temperature taken. We'll have to answer pre-screening questions every time before coming to campus. And you will get an armband of a color of that day in order to be able to attend your class. And we are working out those details for the fall as we speak. Did that help answer the question?
I believe it did. Yeah, addressed it all. Let me see here. I'm browsing questions right now. I think one that I can answer is am I able to join multiple programs, because I enrolled in the first year experience program and the scholars honors program so far, and I'm interested in joining the physical therapy program. Do you want to answer it?
Well, the physical therapy program, you can't join until you've met the prerequisites. And the physical therapy program has to admit you into the program. So that you have to do the application, and then it's extremely competitive, I will tell you that. And you need to be selected. So that is something that if you're just starting your career path, you're not ready to put in your application yet, you have to complete the prerequisites that they have outlined for pre-admission to the program.
Yes, and then the first year experience and Scholars Honors Program are they're not so much, I'd say, major pathways. They're more of extra either extra assistance or extracurricular work. The Scholars Honors Program is going to put you through rigorous coursework in both math, science, English, as well as any other courses we might offer that's aligned with the Scholars Honors Program. So at this point, unless you have a major chosen and you're going to go through that pathway, um, really you're able to choose any classes you want, bar any prerequisites, like Sandy was saying. If there's a prerequisite, you have to make sure you can satisfy it. I hope that was a satisfactory answer.
If not, reframe it and let us try again.
Yes, or if you have any other questions, even unrelated to the health occupations, Cerritos has a new virtual welcome center. You're free to email the welcome center with any questions, as well as call our phone line. We will be happy to look into it further with you at another time. Let's see here. One new one. Perfect. Is there this one's for me. So, is there a way for someone to help me on applying and submitting everything I need to do? I'm gonna drop our welcome center into the chat. So if you have any questions, concerns, we also offer Zoom outreach services. So what will happen is you'll register for a Zoom appointment on Tuesday or Thursday. We'll walk you through the entire application process in that one session. So let me get this. Go ahead and browse our welcome center. You'll find a bunch of ways to contact us for help with your enrollment, or if you have any additional questions or anything like that. Keep in mind, some questions are primarily meant for counselors. So if it's a counseling related question, like should I go into this major or that major, or what does this major pertain to, we may just guide you to a counselor, because that is not our specialty. That is a counselor specialty.
Yeah, well, and I kind of have a little story I guess I could share. So in March of 20, when COVID hit, we worked very hard on getting our graduates, our last class graduated, so that they could go out into the nursing force and help during the pandemic. We had 4 nursing students, who traveled to New York during that time, New York City, and they got jobs there, and they helped out during that, that immense time of high, death rates and sickness and exposures and all of that. And then we had 2 after that, then they came back, and then 2 more went, I think it was to Texas, to work as well, because the COVID rates were up in those areas. And so we're very proud of our students and the community service that they leave with from our programs, in terms of it's to help our community. We really want you to be successful and stay here and help our community grow, and be advocates for health, in these areas. So just a little story. And you can get vaccinations now too, through Student Health Services, I believe, Max. Appointments are made if you're interested in those. So we're ever evolving.
Let's see. I was trying to find photos of our health skills lab. Do you know where any might be? Because it is a very nice area I like to show off.
We just did a video of the skills lab and the library for the BRN. Let me find that. Let's see here. Max, what's your email? I'll send this to you and then you can do it.
That would be mbetanzos@cerritos.edu. That's MBETAN.
BETAN.
Yes. ZOS.
Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just sent it. The link is in the email.
All right. Let me grab it real quickly. There we are. Which, if anyone wants to use that email as well to for anything related to enrollment, perfectly fine. There it is. Oh, I remember this website.
Where was this made?
It was yeah, I think the paralegal department also hosts a video on this website too.
Oh, wow.
Let's see here.
Okay.
Is sound coming through?
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
This is the health science building where the faculty offices are. You can see they're socially distanced. So hopefully you can see a better picture of the skills lab. It was very focused on nursing, so you didn't really get to see. In the pharmacy, we have a classroom with computers and then we have a hospital pharmacy, and we kind of have a retail pharmacy, and we have a sterile room so that you can mix IVs in a sterile format. That not a lot of programs have. Medical assisting, you know, we have EKG machines, we have the phlebotomy arms, we have the exam tables, we do injections, all of that as well. SLIPA has her area for different speech therapy techniques. And then we have the computer lab there for the students to do exams and to do some of the testing that's required, and some of the coursework like electronic health records in some of the programs. Dental assisting goes in there, medical assisting goes in there. And you got to see some of the skills lab. They didn't show you the control room, but there's a little bit of control room in there as well that faculty can be behind while the students are performing. We have students sitting in the wet lab watching the simulation, and then there's a debriefing afterwards. Very kind of state of the art and exciting.
All right. I'm thinking this is going to be the last question, and it's a bit of a tough one. So if I'll just give it to you. For dental assisting, what would be the best education, certificate or an AA degree?
You know, I think that's a great question, and I'm always advocating that you go for the certificate first. You can get employed, and then you can complete your AA while you're going. So medical assisting is the same way. Medical assisting, you can get a certificate, and then I advocate going on for the AA degree, and you can do both. Some people apply for both of them at the same time because they've done some of the general ed prerequisites already. And farm, you know, go ahead and, I mean, farm tech is really the best kept secret in town. And I really advocate you checking into that program. It's going to give you a lot of flexibility at the completion of that. Not only working in pharmacies or retail, and we give you pharmacy and retail clinical experience to get you well-rounded. We're also one of the few accredited programs, ASHP, I believe it is, one of those few that provide you with being able to get further employment and further education above and beyond just maybe what a different institution that's not accredited would allow you to do. So really, you know, really check into it. It would help in your nursing career. It would help in any other medical career that you would go into, med, pre-med, anything. It's a great option.
All right. And with that, do you have any further closing statements, Sandy?
It's an exciting time for healthcare. I can tell you that it has helped me have job security during recessions and times like this. You're not laid off, they're calling you in. So it is a great area for some job security if that's what you're looking for. Oh God, I hate to tell you how long I've been a nurse. Let me check here. Oh my, I've been a nurse for 50 years. So I started when I was 5. But it has never let me down. So a medical health career, a lot of stability. And it gives you a lot of flexibility for movement. And for you, you know, who knows, you might have the capability of being one of the science officers or healthcare professionals that goes to Mars. I mean, that is probably in your lifetime. So you have great challenges and exciting career choices ahead of you.
All right. And with that, that concludes our session for today. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for our senior preview day open house. It's been a pleasure to host you guys. Thank you, Sandy, for coming out and talking to the students. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you all, everyone, for coming today and investigating us. And I don't think you'll be disappointed. And Max, thank you so much for all your support today. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'll be ending the meeting now. So everyone have a good day.
Good day. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone.